Your friend got a new car, a nice one. And when you saw it, it wasn't exactly jealousy, more like a quiet gap opening up. The version of yourself you wanted to be and the version standing there watching felt further apart than usual. In Korea, we have a proverb that was made for this moment. We call it "Bapsega hwangse-tara gadaga garangi chichojinda." It literally means a sparrow trying to keep up with a stork will split its legs trying. The sparrow isn't weak, it isn't foolish, it just lost sight of its own size and tried to close the distance in one move. Today, psychology is going to explain why that gap exists and why jumping it all at once always costs more than we planned. Hello, and welcome to Dr. Bear's Forest Mind Radio. This is K-Wisdom, where ancient Korean proverbs meet modern psychology. I'm your host, Dr. Bear. Let's begin. Let's connect our first call today. Hello?
Dr. Bear, I don't even know where to start. Everyone around me was going on trips. Europe, Southeast Asia, Japan. And I kept thinking, I work hard too. Why not me? So I just booked it. Didn't really check the numbers, told myself I'd figure it out. And honestly, it was good. In the moment, it was really good. Yeah, until the flight home. Sitting there at 35,000 feet, and it just hits me. This month's rent, groceries, the credit card bill. I did the math in my head, and my stomach just dropped. I wanted to be someone who does things like this, who just goes. No spreadsheets, no guilt. But somewhere between the departure gate and the landing, I realized I'm not actually that person yet. Dr. Bear, where did I go wrong?
Ta-da! It's Honey! Sparrow, you didn't go wrong. You did something very, very human. Let me ask you one thing first. When you booked that trip, was it really the trip you wanted, or was it the feeling of finally being the person who just goes? Here's what psychology tells us. E. Torrey Higgins, a psychologist at Columbia University, developed something called Self-Discrepancy Theory. The idea is this. We each carry two versions of ourselves at all times. The actual self, who we are right now, and the ideal self, who we wish we could be. The gap between those two, that's where the discomfort lives. That pull you feel, that restlessness, that's the gap doing its job. When you booked that trip, you weren't just spending money, you were acting on a pure longing to finally step into the shoes of your ideal self. That excitement was real. To me, it looks like you were just...
Honey, that's your problem. You're so sweet, you're giving me a toothache. Listen up, Sparrow. Pure longing. Give me a break. In dark psychology, we call that a flare-up of the performative self. You didn't want a vacation. You wanted to prove to everyone else that you're someone who can afford this. You weren't traveling. You were performing self-harm for an audience. The reason your stomach dropped on the flight home, it wasn't the cost. It's because once the photos were taken and the posts were up, you ran out of fuel to maintain that fake version of you. A sparrow chasing a stork isn't romantic, it's an addiction. And it's not just your legs splitting, you're tearing your whole life apart. Got it?
Oh my, Shadow, how incredibly rude. Everyone, please don't let him get to you. It's not all that negative, really. Even if it was a bit much, it's proof that Sparrow is deeply hungry for a better life. The real question is, how do we feed that hunger without hurting ourselves? Dr. Bear, can you show us how to handle this gap properly?
Well, quite a heated debate, between the cold reality shadow showed us and the warm hope honey offered, let's talk about 3 ways to find your balance. Number 1. Write down your ideal self. In one sentence. Not a bucket list, not a 5-year plan. Just one sentence. I want to be someone who... When you can see it clearly, you stop chasing a feeling and start taking a direction. What's one sparrow-sized step toward that person? Not a stork-sized leap that splits your legs on landing. Number 2. Notice the gap, but don't panic across it. The discomfort between who you are and who you want to be, that's not a sign something is broken. That's the gap working exactly as it should, pulling you forward. The problem isn't the gap. The problem is when we try to erase it in one expensive, panicked move. Small, steady steps across a real gap always get you further than one impossible jump. Number 3. Ask yourself, is this ideal self actually yours? Sometimes the version of ourselves we're chasing isn't really ours at all. It's built from other people's highlight reels. Their trips, their cars, their ease. A sparrow's ideal self should look like a sparrow, just a little further along, not a stork. Today's wisdom card for your pocket. The gap between who I am and who I want to be is not something to panic across. It's something to walk. Sparrow, you didn't book that trip out of recklessness. You booked it because there's a version of yourself you've been quietly longing for. Someone free, someone unbothered, someone who just goes. That longing isn't the problem. Trying to arrive there in one move, that's what split your legs. The person you want to be is real. She's just built one step at a time. To everyone listening today, just try one thing. Ask yourself who you've been quietly trying to become. And then ask, what's one honest, sparrow-sized step you can actually take today? I'm Dr. Bear. See you in the forest tomorrow. Stay cozy.